Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback presents the All Memphis Post Game Show, where me and the homie Mase break down every Memphis basketball game right after it happens, every Memphis Grizzlies game or every Memphis Tigers game. You don't have to wait for our take because we hitting you right after the game is over. It's 11:40 here in Memphis. It's 3 o'clock wherever Mace is, because that's how time works. So, Mace, what's going on, brother?
Hey, not a bad night in the 901. The team that you needed to win won. The team that you would like to win had a valiant effort and came up just short. So shout out to the Tigers. Survive in advance. It's March. Won by 8. I think the line closed at 7 on that game, somewhere around there. So did exactly what Vegas expected them to do. Covered the spread, and now they get another shot at Houston tomorrow. And then the Grizzlies just fell to the Joker. But all in all, I am good. I much would rather have a Tigers win and Grizzlies loss than vice versa in this scenario. So I will take it, and we'll live to fight another day. But I'm good, man. How are you?
Can't complain. I'm with you the same way. And you're right. Vegas had this as a 7-point game, and thankfully they did. And we will get into that a little bit later, as we always do. But
what a day of college basketball and just basketball in general. This is kind of the week where you don't watch as much NBA and you're just flipping around from conference tournament because it seems like there's always a game coming down the stretch. And then today you had Juwan Howard and the Maryland coach almost getting into a fight. Like, tempers are flaring. It's March, baby. Let's go.
At noon. It was like a noon. Yeah, dude, you're trying to fight it at lunchtime. Dog. It's lunchtime.
You're trying banging at breakfast?
Banging on bacon, my dude? Like, what's going on, Juwan? Yeah, man. It's like this is one of the times I was in the office today, and I exclaimed out loudly, like, yeah, this is one of the times where I miss working with the Grizzlies, because at this time of year, we would have TVs on. There would be a TV on with every game or whatever. We can change the channel and watch whatever, and no work would be getting done during the games. So, like, I even for next week, for the first Friday of the NCAA tournament, I've been scouting the sports books around here in Tunica and in Arkansas, and trying to figure out which one I want to go to, because I'm spending all day. I already took off. I already got my time off. I'm spending all day in a sports book on Friday. Maybe not all day, but a little bit, the majority of the day. So let's just jump right into, we're talking about college. So let's jump into college. In the quarterfinals of the American Athletic Conference, the Tigers just beat UCF, the University of Central Florida Golden Knights, by a score of 70-62. The game ended up being close, and I didn't think it was going to be that close. The Tigers started out the game very fast. In the first 13 minutes, UCF had 11 turnovers, and the Tigers capitalized off those turnovers. And they got up a big lead. At one point, they were up by like 16 or 18 points, but UCF started chipping back and chipping away. And to me, it exposed the not even exposed it, because if you watch enough games, you know this is how the Tigers are. The flaw, like the style of play that the Tigers play, you're never out of a game. The opponent is never really out of the game. And UCF proved that tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, we came out suffocating on defense, so we were able to get out and run, get some easy looks in transition, get some open threes. I think we had four threes in like the first 6 minutes or so, and then we finished the game with 6. So that lets you know how much of an offensive struggle it was overall. And I thought this was a game where, and I know Talk Radio had been saying, oh, maybe they don't miss Alex Lomax that much. If you look at how they played, they fared better without him, because Boogie's getting more minutes and Ball's getting more minutes, and the rotation in general was cut down. But we can't break a press. We can barely break a one-on-one, man-to-man defense up the court without Alex Lomax. So I think this is a game, and tournament time in general, when the pressure ticks up, defense is ramped up a notch, and everybody's throwing the kitchen sink at you when we need that floor general. I'm not saying we would have won this game by 20 points, but maybe we win by 12 instead of 8 because we don't have 2 turnovers.
Right.
So I think it showed that as good as we've been playing, the flaws are still there. And if we're not executing at the highest level that we can offensively, then, like you said, teams are going to have a chance to get back in the game because we're going to turn the ball over.
Well, I mean, that's the flaw with it, right? And that's what I was. It was so funny because at the halftime, they interviewed Penny, and the lady asked the reporter asked, like, started out so strong, what happened? And Penny said, I think it was fatigue. We played really hard and we got tired and we couldn't get to close out, so I think it was fatigue. And so she asked him, like, how do you battle that for the second half? And she said, are you worried about that for a second? He's like, no, emphatically, no, we're not worried about it. Like, we adjust. That's what we do. And then they come out in the second half and they just do the same thing. Like, they didn't make any adjustments at all. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I laughed when you said that. Like, I audibly laughed because I was like, all right, we'll see what this is about. Like, but the we adjust didn't really even answer the question. Like, so it was he was just ready to get into the locker room. He was done with that interview. But going as you mentioned, they closed the half. We were only up 4 at halftime, 32-28 after leading by as much as 15. But I thought we weren't getting a lot of whistles. Boogie had a dunk that definitely should have been an and one. He got tackled while he's hanging on the rim. There's a weak call on Lester, and that's when they kind of went on a 9-0 run. And our offense, to be fair, got extremely stagnant because they stopped turning the ball over. We weren't getting easy looks. And to their credit, this is a UCF team that's won 5 straight games. Definitely not world beaters and haven't beaten really any good teams, but still one of the better teams playing pretty well in the American Conference coming into the tournament. So, and their season's on the line, backs against the wall. It's tough to beat a team like that by 20 points, like especially when you get out to that lead and they have the rest of the game to come back. So, close the half, and you kind of knew we were going to be in a dogfight the rest of the way. I didn't expect them to pull away there, but defense in the first half held them to 27% shooting. They were only 3 of 11 from downtown, and they had 12 turnovers. So the defense keeps us in games. It's the story of the season, and it's going to make us or break us.
Like, you think about this game, and the only analysis from this game is that you got to think about it in like broad strokes, because like it's only so many games left. Like, if this game was in January, you would sit and you would try to extrapolate, like, what does this mean for the rest of their season? It's like, no, the rest of their season is tomorrow. And they play at a different team, which they have a different type of respect for. So I don't expect to see the same type of, obviously you're going to see the same type of defense and the same type of effort as they do, because that's what they do. Like, the defense travels, like you said, like Penny said before. But there's not like a big overarching theme that you get from this game.
It's funny to me. I was just like scrolling back through the Twitter timeline in my head, and early on in this game, someone said, like, save some threes for tomorrow, Tigers. And we end up going 6 of 20, shooting 30% from downtown.
Right. That's what it is. I was about to say, like, you expect them to shoot better tomorrow. I expect them to take tomorrow more serious. Take tomorrow more serious. That is a calling card of this team, is playing to the level of the competition. They got up big and relaxed because they knew they could beat this team, and they just played with their food. And then they just kept playing with it until they came back. And then they had to get right again. And obviously I don't expect to see that from them tomorrow. I believe that they look at tomorrow as the conference championship, because I believe that they believe they can beat Wichita State or Cincinnati, even though Cincinnati got their dude back, got like one of their starters back. I believe that they have enough confidence they can do that. So you beat Houston tomorrow, that's it. And coming off the loss to Houston on Sunday and understanding what that was and how it happened, I think that I don't want to say they were overlooking UCF, but they just didn't give UCF the type of respect that they usually give somebody. And you could tell because when they got a bid, they just let go of the rope. And thankfully, they were talented enough to keep to win the game.
Yeah, and to their credit, in the last 4 minutes, they turned it on. The score was 54-54, and then Memphis wins 70-62. So they did what they had to do to win. They made a play after play down the stretch. They came up and made the plays that they weren't making in January. They made the winning plays in this one. So even though it was closer than you like, you'll take it. Before we hit on the good games, I thought it was overall from the starting unit. I mean, Lester was 2 of 10, 7 points. You gotta think that's going to be better. Landers was 3 of 11, 9 points. But those two Lester gave you 15 rebounds tonight, and Landers and Ollie gave you 12. So, they're not impacting on scoring especially like Landers normally does, but Musa and Malco, they only combined for 20 minutes. So these guys really had to pick it up on the boards, and that's what they did. And I think, Musa and Dandridge, they're iffy. They might be there and they might not. But these guys doing what it takes, that's what it is about in conference tournament time. And then DJ had a great game. 17 points, 7 of 11 from the field. He had 8 in the first half in that initial run, and then had some in the rest in the second half, obviously. But I thought he was the one who got us buckets when we needed it, hit the big threes from the corner. And then Williams, like I said, gave you a solid game, but you didn't get much from Boogie. So, you all in all, you take it. You take the win, obviously, but then you look at it, it's like, hey, we didn't play that great. So there's a lot of room to grow for a Houston team who blew out Tulane. They let them hang around for the first half, but then they turned it on, and, they got their cojones back about them. They just beat us, so they're feeling confident as well. But you got to hope our guys save some of their shots for tomorrow.
Yeah, this performance from DJ is the type of performance that you wish you could get from him every game.
He looks faster tonight. He's getting steals on the break, dribbling, making quick decisions.
This is the DJ Jeffries that you saw when you signed him, that you envisioned when you signed him. I don't know exactly what it was, if it's just because they were up by so much and he was freer and there wasn't a lot of thinking in the game plan. I don't know what it was, but he's just like a different player tonight. You see, like you said, Lester with 15 rebounds, Landers with 12 rebounds. That tells me it was a whole bunch of missed shots. Whole bunch of missed shots. And they were rebounding them. Giving a shout out to the Tigers, man. 16 to 21 from the free throw line, shooting 76%. That's good. They're not a really good shooter. They're not a good free throw shooting team. And DeAndre Williams made 2 very clutch free throws with under 5 seconds left in the game that a lot of people needed him to make. So that is good for him. What are we looking at? 16 turnovers. That's right about this is what you get with them. You understand that. What it shows me, man, is that I hope the American's better next year. And I don't even know what's going to happen with the Tigers. I don't know if they beat Houston or they lose to Houston, if they make the tournament or not. But if this cast of characters come back next season, still should be a Sweet 16 team next season.
I agree with that, and let's not, there's a lot left to be written on this season. So.
Right, they might be a Sweet 16 team this season. You never know. To get the right matchup, if they're a 12 seed and they play a right 5 seed, it's all about matchups. And there's always a 12-5 upset in the tournament. So
yeah, at this point, it's not a question of if this team's good enough to be in the tournament. It's just they don't have the resume. And unfortunately, that's what it comes down to in college basketball. And if SMU had played more games this year, maybe the American is viewed a little more respectable. Or if Wichita State had played more, or hey, if the conference had made all those top teams play in the last 2 weeks to make it look a little stronger, not a bad idea. But they didn't, and it is what it is. So the conference, it could end up being a one bid league if Houston wins the conference tournament, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's no COVID outbreaks. We've seen it all around the country in various games. So getting canceled and team season ending abruptly. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, the defense is what it is. They're back to number one in KenPom defensively. Held this team to 36% shooting on the game, 28% from three. The fouls were even. I thought, obviously, I always think Memphis got a tough whistle. I thought they were just the more aggressive team, and I thought the refs in the first half just didn't know how they wanted to officiate the game at all.
And like I said, that goes. I said it last Sunday. He's they're at the mercy of the refs. If the refs came into this game and wanted it to be a tight, whatever, they would have called what they wanted to call. And like the refs let them set the tone early by their very physical defense, and they let it happen. And there, one bad thing. I don't want to say bad thing. I wasn't paying attention. I had the TV on mute. I was listening to some music while I watched the game, so I didn't hear the diagnosis. What happened with Damian?
He looked like he was back on the bench. So yeah, he the guy dove into his head. It looked
like a concussion or something like that.
But it looked like he was back on the bench. They didn't really mention anything on the broadcast.
And do you think Alo plays tomorrow?
I mean, I'm not hopeful. No, I mean, I think it seems like it's literally day to day, but no, I'm not hopeful. It doesn't seem like he's anywhere close to it. So who knows?
Who knows? I mean, look, man, it's March, dog. March 12th, Big OG's birthday. So it's survive in advance, dog. That's what it was. It's survive in advance. You do what you got to do to win the game, and they did it. They out talented and out athletic UCF tonight to win the game, and we'll see. They won't be able to do that tomorrow, but they can beat Houston tomorrow. There's a path for them to do it, and we'll see if maybe something clicks in Houston where who knows. Tomorrow might be one of the best games. Tomorrow's Memphis versus Houston game might be one of the best games on the slate tomorrow through the whole thing. And it's I'm excited to watch. I don't know if they put a line out for it yet, but I'm probably gonna put my money on the Tigers because they're gonna be underdogs. And if it's they probably be like a 4 to 6 point underdog, I'll take that.
Yeah, me too. So who you got for your player of the game tonight?
My player of the game, got to go with him, man. Got to go with DJ Jeffries. Got to go with this. This is the DJ that we've wanted to see for a long time. This is the DJ that pushes this team to the next level, and that's what you need to see.
Yeah.
What about you?
I got to go DJ too. I mean, 28 huge minutes off the bench. Team only scored 20 bench points, and 17 of those were DJs. So I just thought he was huge, and especially when basically no one else besides Williams had anything for you offensively. Without DJ, we sitting at home, and this is a whole different show. So shout out to DJ. What about play of the game?
A play of the game is actually it's a DJ. I got two. One is in the first half. DJ Steele and goes like a fast break. He does like like he wanted to dunk it, but he ends up like a reverse layup on the fast break. I like that play. And then I don't know if it's not a flashy play of the game, but it meant a lot at the time it happened. Lester just ripped this dude at half court. And he ripped the dude at half court, took it in for a layup. And they might have either put them extended the lead a little bit when UCF was coming in close, or UCF had the lead, and it was something along that's where the game was. But
so that's actually my play of the game when he ripped Mahan, who had hit a three, hit a couple buckets, came in and was scoring points for them, and the score was 54-54, and Les ripped him and got fouled, and made 2 free throws, put us up by 2, and that's basically when we started to break away a little bit.
Yep, that's what they hit my play of the game. So who you got for bum of the game?
Oh, bum of the game. I don't want to give it to a Tiger, man. I really don't. But I'm gonna go with Musa, man. He just can't make a layup, dude. He can't. It's like it's not getting much better. Not a good night for Musa. But hey, it is what it is. Only 14 minutes. Hopefully tomorrow he washes this game away and comes back tomorrow and gives you a better performance because you're gonna need it.
So I got two people that will make one whole bum because the first half of this bum really wasn't a bum for the whole game, but he had a bummy play. And it's DeAndre Williams. He missed another dunk. Stop missing dunks. Stop missing dunks, dog. Like this is you can't be doing it. So you're a bum for that. And then CJ Walker for the Knights. Could have been a Tiger. Could have been a Tiger, bro. Like you could have been a Tiger, dog. Like look at what you're missing out on, Brett. Look at how they could have used you.
Well, and if he could have made a free throw, it could have been a different game. He was 3 of 8 from the line.
And if he could have made a free throw, you would have had your team in a lot better position. So CJ Walker, you went to Oregon. You couldn't handle the Pac-12 because everybody can't handle the Pac-12. And then you had to come back to Florida. But nah, so those are my bum of the game.
All right, so I know you just gave him your bum of the game, DeAndre Williams, but I feel like he might have had some redemption in this next segment. Did Jamal win some money?
Oh, Jamal won some money tonight. Jamal won some money tonight off the Tigers. So my sports book of choice is FanDuel, and they sent me an offer, a $25 risk-free bet.
Ooh.
Bet here's $25. Bet it. If it hits, you get the money. If it doesn't hit, we give you your money back in site credit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm putting 25 on the Tigers to cover because I felt like the Tigers could cover anyway. I told you like they're gonna win this game by 10 to 15 points. Like, this game shouldn't even be close.
The typical reverse jinx from a Tiger hater, but whatever.
and so I'm like, you know what?
We did it. We powered through. It's March.
I'm gonna put 25 on the Tiger. Now, granted, for those who listen, y'all know $25 for me to bet is a lot of money. The most I've ever bet since I've been doing this is $50. And the reason why I bet $50, it was another one of these promotions where it was like, it was a special promotion during football season where every time 100 people bet on this outcome, the outcome changed. So it was like the Tennessee Titans versus Oakland Raiders, Tennessee plus 305. Okay, well, I'm gonna put 50 on there because they're not gonna lose a game by 305 points. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's easy $45. Bet 50, win 45. So that was like that's the most I've ever bet. Because it was easy money coming back. So tonight I did the risk-free jump with the 25 and it hit in the last seconds. In the last seconds, DeAndre Williams, he redeemed himself, hit those 2 free throws, made it up by 8. And thankfully UCF just didn't care about anything else because it was like 4 seconds left. Dude got the ball to dribble and shot it from half court.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, yes, because he could have ran down and got a layup. You know what I'm saying? He could have ran down and just laid it up, make it 6. But like, nah, he did that. Good job, my boy. Good job.
Yeah. I was nervous for you. Now I think the real question lies within. So now that you have this basically free $25 to play with, are you gonna put it on the Tigers again since you did tonight and it worked and they won?
I don't know if I'm gonna put 25 on them again tomorrow, but I'm gonna bet on the Tigers tomorrow. I tried to look, they haven't released a line yet.
But you just got a free 25, and when you bet 25, we won.
Hey, I've already put 5 on them to win the tournament. I already put 5 on them to win the tournament.
Okay.
I did that, and so we'll see. But my money will be on the Tigers tomorrow. I'm assuming it's gonna be +6, +4. Something around those lines. But yeah, man, you know what? Other than that, and other than the Grizzlies, obviously, today was a good day for me. Today was a really good day for me on the bet. Alabama did what they were supposed to do. Tennessee did what they were supposed to do. Michigan did what they were supposed to do. Ohio State did what they were supposed to do. So it was a pretty good day for me on the FanDuel app.
Nice. Good to hear. Well, not a great day for the Grizzlies, but a pretty good one. And the Tigers take on Houston at 4:30 tomorrow, 4:30 local time. But yeah, now to the Grizzlies, lost 103-102. Ja Morant drives to the rim for a chance to win the game. Go make some contact with Nikola Jokic. Ball doesn't go in. No call. Then that's the game. So it is what it is. Grizzlies lose, but all in all, I thought it was a really good performance. This was not a really good performance, but a solid performance against a veteran playoff team that had the best player on the floor who controlled the game most of the night. And you didn't get a great Ja Morant performance. So to be in this game at the very end, you'll take it. You'll take it.
Man, you know what? I was watching this game and even taking everything into account with how the game played out. These teams look very equal to me. They were like very close. They're very similar, and they looked equal enough. I mean, the records are what the records are, not too far away. We're 17-17. They're 22-15. Okay, whatever. They play more games. But I was looking. I was like, man, these teams are very comparable. I think. Not surprised by the outcome. What I am surprised about was all the Canada crime was going on. Dylan and Jamal Murray, and it was I liked watching the game. The game was good. It was sloppy at times, but it felt like an old Grizzlies game. Like the score was for the longest, you didn't think they were going to crack 100. It was looking like 98, and that was a score. So,
well, and let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Jamal Murray, who had been averaging 29 points per game in the last 11 games, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was held to 3 points on 1 of 14 shooting by the Grizzlies, just thoroughbred stable of wing defenders that they're able to toss out there.
The triumvirate of wing defenders. And that's what this isn't a betting podcast, but that's what I have to start taking into account now with my stuff, because we lock people up. Like
the dude was averaging 30 in his last 11 games before the break.
But it shows. Like Brad did the same thing to Bradley Beal, held him 10 points below his average. Same thing with this. Like some guys you can't hold. Like the last time it was Giannis. We didn't have anybody to hold Giannis, or Chris Middleton didn't get what he usually gets. But it was a good defensive performance. Like we couldn't score, but we didn't let them score a lot. And it was nice to see the confidence of DeAnthony Melton. It was interesting to see that Grayson was available and that Taylor Jenkins did not play him. We talked about it last game that Grayson might be on the outside looking in, at least for the next week or two, because the team is just playing so well. This iteration of the team is just playing so well. There's no reason to bring him in and mess it up.
Man, I can't lie. Midway through the game, probably, I think it was early in the fourth quarter when Tyus was in, but Justice was doing most of the ball handling. I was like, maybe we should bump Tyus out of the rotation for Grayson for a little bit and see how this works, just to have, last show I was all like, nah, we can't do it. We saw it in the bubble with this team without Tyus. It was awful. But, Justice, the more he gets comfortable handling the ball and the more he gets used to these teammates, it seems like that's going to be his role on this team, is handling the ball quite often.
Like I think one of us said if it wasn't last game or 3 games, so like when he first came in, like that second unit has 4 different ball handlers on it. And if Justice is going to be your primary for that second unit, that's great. There's a bigger body who can do things and all that. He looked okay. What did he end up shooting? 3 for 6. Didn't shoot that much tonight, but it was good to see him out there. Brandon Clark, amazing off the bench. 20 points, 4 rebounds. So it's going to be interesting. I was trying to pay attention to the substitution patterns to see how Taylor uses the people. Nothing too like he took Justice out early in the fourth quarter because I think he wanted to end with Justice in the fourth quarter. So you saw that. Jonas and Jokic's minutes kind of mirrored each other. They both played almost the entire first quarter. I don't think Jonas has ever played the entire first quarter, but for this game, he came out of the game for the first time with what I wrote it down with 55 seconds left.
No, I did they come out? Okay, so here's what happened because they were lumbering up and down the court at the end of the first quarter. And like I had just written in my notes that they were playing the entire first quarter. But I think it was like 25 seconds left, and Brandon Clark had just got an and one, and then Jokic missed the dunk. Remember? And I think that's when he got subbed out. He went for a dunk. It was wide open, and he missed it. And I don't know why they play him the entire first quarter and the entire third quarter. But I do think our rotations were thrown off because we wanted to have Valanciunas on him the entire game. And Valanciunas did a solid job, but Jokic just makes the game look so easy. Like when he wants to shoot, he's going to shoot. Yeah. Like when he wants to facilitate, like that, which is what he's doing. Like he's facilitating, and then it's kind of like Marc Gasol, except Jokic will just be like, I'm going to shoot it and like make it most of the time. He makes the game look annoyingly easy.
Annoyingly easy. Did he finish? He didn't finish with a triple-double tonight, but he was close, right?
He didn't have the assist. We were locking them down defensively. They did have 27 assists overall, but so did we. But I mean, Valanciunas was in his face, and like it didn't matter because Jokic is a little bit bigger and able to shoot over him. But it's fun to watch him in person. And Valanciunas, I thought, gave us a pretty solid effort against him. Valanciunas had 14 points and 11 boards of his own. Not the dominant night we saw the other night, but he was our best bet against the big fella.
Well, I mean, when I talk about how these teams are so even, like what I saw, it was like an even team. They had 27 assists. We had 27 assists. They had 45 rebounds. We had 45 rebounds. They had 5 blocks. We had 5 blocks. They shot 45%. We shot 46%. They shot 92 shots. We only shot 87, but we had 5 more turnovers. No, we actually had, 16 and 9? That's 7. 7 more turnovers. So 7 more turnovers and got them 5 more shots than us, and we lost by 1 point. The one thing that you also see with this team, we're a complete team. Josh struggled this entire game, and Dylan struggled a lot, but picked it up. Brandon Clark came off the bench, had 20 points, but Ja was hunting his shot early, couldn't get it. The Nuggets were playing amazing defense, cutting off the paint from his drives. We were trying to do our floaters weren't popping. We couldn't get to the rim, but we stayed with it. And we had a lead for the majority for the first half, and then they kind of took over in the third. Michael Porter Jr. is really good. Will Barton is really good. I tried to look it up on Basketball Reference. I want to know what Will averages against the Grizzlies in Memphis, because whenever he comes to Memphis, he always puts up numbers. Because that's like this is what he does. And I didn't know what I was doing on Basketball Reference, so I couldn't find it. But Will always plays well in the Forum for whatever team he's on. Always plays well. So it was just good to see. It's good to see this team be competitive against some of these teams who are going to be making deep playoff runs. Like you held with the Bucks, you held with the Nuggets. The Lakers or even though it was early in the season, we lost the game, but you still were with them. It's good to see this team be able to compete, and this is where we are now when we're not even supposed to be here right now.
Yeah, and I think what makes it even more frustrating is that you, in our minds and in the team's minds, they easily could have beat the Bucks, easily could have had this game if they just tighten up a little bit. We shot 50% from 3, and they only shot 35%. It's tough to lose when you do that, but like you said, those turnovers. I thought there in the third quarter we had a rough stretch. Dylan specifically I can remember he turned it over twice in a row. Ja got ripped by Will, and much like Lester ripped the dude on UCF. And I thought Jenkins waited a little late in the third quarter to sub. Like Dylan was obviously struggling, and he was trying to make up for it by doing way too much. And you've got viable options on the bench. You got Melton, Winslow, Grayson, whoever else you want to put in there. But I thought he just let that unit run a little too long in the third quarter, and they just had nothing going at all. Like I understand leaving Valanciunas in to mirror the Joker, But when you got so many options on the wing and they're not giving you anything, like it's okay to sub them out. And then they come back in the fourth quarter, like Dylan Brooks, and score 11 points in the fourth quarter and bring you back. But like the benefit of having all of this wing depth and depth in general is that if someone's not giving you right now, and I understand you're trying to stick to the rotations, but like that group clearly did not have it. And it was a half court battle. Ja couldn't get any calls. He couldn't get any open looks. No one could get any open looks. So why not toss that bench unit in and wreak a little havoc?
You got your Dylan Brooks. You got your usual Dylan Brooks first quarter in the third quarter of this game. Because he came out there looking batshit crazy, playing batshit crazy in the third quarter. So, it just happened a little later than it usually happens, but it's going to happen every game. You just know it's going to happen every game.
Yeah, I mean, in the third quarter, we were 3 of 11 in the paint. We had 5 turnovers. Luckily, we were 4 of 7 from 3, 2 of which came from Ja, and he had 8 points, and one of them was the buzzer beater from half court right before the end of the third quarter, and capped off an 8-0 run and really brought us back in the game. I think it was a 81-77 in the Nuggets' favor going into the fourth. So thankfully, Ja hit those two threes, or it would have been a lot uglier than it was.
Defense was good, held them to a couple of different shot clock violations.
Yeah.
Like we were out there jumping in passing lanes, getting our hands on balls and doing everything. It was good to see the kind of intensity that they played with. We just couldn't get anything going on the offensive end. And I mean, you can't help but notice when you said Jamal Murray 1 for 14. And like Jamal Murray 1 for 14. Ja went whatever he had. Like it just wasn't a good shooting game for Ja. Like when we're hoping for Ja to make threes, it's not good. I don't know, man. I would love to see a series between these two teams. I think that would be fun. If you would have told me earlier when I looked at the schedule, I would have put this as a schedule loss. But it happened that way. Something that we can build on. I think what was our free? We shot good from the free throw line. I think we made every free throw.
Yeah, I only got there 8 times, and the refs let us let the teams play. I mean, not a lot of fouls, and I think that's what kind of made this ugly game so enjoyable. Mm-hmm. It was a physical basketball game, and they were just letting them play. So no quibbles from me with the referees. And then I guess we can go ahead and get to the final play, or. In the fourth quarter, I thought both teams really started executing at an extremely high level. When the Nuggets needed a bucket, they scored. When we needed a bucket, we were able to draw up plays, run them to perfection, and score, whether it was the lob to Brandon Clark from Ja, and then we run almost the same play, but Melton fills in the space up at the top, boom, knocks down a 3. I mean, him becoming a knockdown shooter is a game changer. Like
his confidence is off the charts. Like he shot that shot, no hesitation, didn't even think about it. This ball is coming to me and it's going up. It went up and it went in. You're talking about the execution that the Nuggets had. There was a series of plays down the stretch where Will got a 3 in the corner. Will got a 3 in the corner from a Jamal Murray drive. Jamal Murray drove and kicked to Will in the corner for a 3. Then we scored. Next play down, Jokic gets a walk-up 3. A reverse. Their ball got reversed to him, a 3 that way. So he hits a 3. And then he gets in the lane for a little tough jump hook.
That lefty, was tough.
And it was like, well, what do you do with that? There's nothing you can do with that. You played perfect defense, and he just made a better shot. And we were scoring down the stretch too. So it was really good to see, man. Like, not to say I expected them to be intimidated, but they came out. They knew they weren't having their best game, but they still stuck with it, and they still played hard. And they gave themselves a chance to win the game, and that's all you really want in this situation.
Yeah, I think they put Jokic back in right around the 4-minute mark. And from that point on, basically both teams executed to perfection, except Ja got ripped actually by Jokic himself in like the mid-range area, which that's in and of itself, I guess, 7'1" behemoth of a man ripping Ja Morant. That was a surprise to me to see. And then when the Grizzlies needed to stop most. Brandon Clark came over from the help side, got a huge block on Jokic, and put us in position to have a chance to win the game.
So, do you think it was a foul? Did Ja get fouled?
I think maybe in the middle of the game that's a foul. I don't think that's a foul you call at the end of the game. So I'm okay with that call. However, I think certain players get that call, and if that's Jokic driving on Valanciunas, probably that's a foul. So, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's not a foul. And then when I watched the replay, I wouldn't call that to end the game.
I mean, like even somebody in Ja's own class, like Zion gets that foul, Trae Young gets that foul. And Ja was getting increasingly frustrated with the refs. I mean, it's a theme of the season. You can hear him asking for fouls. He's very demonstrative. That's my word for these players today. They're very demonstrative when he doesn't get a call. But tonight the ref messed up. Tonight, I think he wanted to call a foul, but something went haywire in his head and he didn't blow the whistle because he raised his hand. Like, I'm not that familiar with referee moves, but you don't raise your hand that way if you're not calling a foul at that moment. And then didn't just blow your whistle when Dylan runs into Jokic and say, "Oh, the foul's on him." But you already was calling something before Dylan came up here, bro. So yeah, I understand the controversy. I'm also with you that I don't think it was really a foul. I wouldn't have called that foul. I wouldn't have called it foul. Especially because, I mean, like, if he maybe, I don't know. If he makes it, I don't think I call it. But if he misses it, I don't think if he makes it, I don't give him an and-1. But if he misses it, I might be able to give him one. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Usually when the refs put their hands up like that and don't make a fist, when they're calling a foul, they put a fist up immediately. And that's the signal for a foul. He put his hand straight up, but usually when they do that in that situation, it's because they're waiting to see if it goes in or not. Mm-hmm. And then when he realizes he misses, he calls the foul. And he didn't in this case. Some people have said, maybe he was putting his hand up to indicate verticality. I don't know. But like I said, I probably wouldn't have called that foul, but it was a shitty way to end the game. The last loss we had was a buzzer beater. This one is not getting a call. And it's just more of the same, especially when Ja wasn't getting calls all night and he had came off 3 games in a row where he gotten the most calls he's gotten all season.
Well, and I was about to say, like, J.O. just talking about Ja almost went to the referee and put his index finger in the referee's face. Ja was like, "Yo, dude, like, bro," Ja was mad. He was mad, man, and it was interesting. Like, I don't know what's going to have to happen. I mean, we've seen it for years. Mike didn't get those calls, and so we don't know. Maybe it's if you're the point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies, you got to get used to not getting those calls. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if Ja becomes a bigger superstar, he ends up starting to get those. But I'm not all entirely too mad about them not calling that.
Yeah, and it was a great play call too to get your best player the ball. He wasn't taking it out of bounds this time, so I think we learned a lesson from that situation. He got him in scoring range right there at the high post. He had a chance. He could have floated it. He could have done a multitude of things, and he made his move and had a good look. Honestly, even with the foul, that's a shot you expect him to get an and 1 on, and 8 times out of 10 probably.
Do you think I've noticed it all season, but I just came out like Dylan takes. Not only does Dylan take the worst shots, but he takes the most difficult shots. And like he takes shots where he has to contort his body to get the shot off. I'm like, bro, like, why are you taking these shots? It was one shot he took, and I'm like, okay, it went in, but it was like, there's no way you should have took that shot. Like,
It did what?
It went in. It went in. You can't. Hey, right? You can't hate it when it go in, but like, bro, that shit don't go in. I'm talking bad about you,
bro. I mean, Dylan don't care. Talk bad about him. It fuels him. Look what he did to his countrymen tonight. No mercy on him. 1 of 13, 3 points, whatever it was. He's done it to Bradley Beal. The Dylan hate has got to stop. The Dylan hate has got to stop. He
No,
brings too
I'm
much
not.
to this team. And
Listen,
I know it's you're not like full of vitriol, but there are a lot of people who still are, and I just don't understand it. Like what this guy brings to the team, we would be searching for if we didn't have it.
I just want him to get a real haircut.
Yeah, I mean he's got some weird quirks, you know. He's Canadian.
I just want to get a weird haircut, eh? Hey.
he's got the little strange haircut, says some weird stuff. Just, you know, a really misaligned personality. And but he's our misaligned personality.
But he is our misaligned personality. So
like J.O. said, he's not scared. Like he is the one that is like going head first in, like not asking any questions. Like, all right, y'all, we going in this room. Let's go.
This is what we doing. And I mean, like we talked about it before. He's the head of the defensive triumvirate. He's going to be on the best. He's going to be on the opposing team's best player, and he's done it the last 4 or 5 games.
Honestly, at this point, he's got to be starting to get talked about for getting some votes for the all defensive, at least second team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. Let's hit these superlatives, bro. Who is your player of the game?
Man, I got to go Jokic. It was just fun to watch him kind of masterfully control that game and turn it into a half-court battle. So the Grizzlies, who lead the league in fast break points and getting out running, there was none of that for us this game. We scored 7 fast break points. They had 23. And it was largely because of his ability to just control the pace of the game. And as a center, like that is still wild to see. You watched it in the bubble last year, but Murray was doing so much last year, you know, scoring 30, 50, whatever. This year, he's not doing it as much, although he did have that great stretch right before the break, as I mentioned earlier. But to see Jokic just single-handedly basically win that game, give Michael Porter Jr. open shots, and Will Barton open shots to help him carry the team. That was a nice performance. So shout out to the Joker. Who you got?
I like Jokic. I'm gonna give it to Brandon Clark. 20 and 4 off the bench. I forgot how many minutes he played, but yeah, I mean he came on the bench smoking in the first quarter. If Brandon Clark's playing like that, I don't know what they're gonna do with Kyle. And you could see, I noticed Kyle's body language. Kyle's body language wasn't fully there tonight. And I don't know if whatever it was, but I didn't feel a very.
Is that speculation?
I didn't feel a very good vibe from Kyle tonight because first person to come out the game, he was. Taylor took him out at the first, take him out at about 6 minutes and brought Brandon in. And then Brandon went off, and and Kyle didn't really get back into the game until midway through the second quarter. Which probably doesn't happen if Brandon isn't going off the way he is, but still. So anyway, Brandon Clark is my player of the game.
And just on Kyle, I feel like he's kind of struggled a little bit these last few games too.
Yeah.
And he used to come out early so he could be that main ball handler with the second unit or provide some extra playmaking. But now with Justice, I don't know. Jenkins said today he's still taking in all the information about having the full rotations available, who plays well together. So I think he's still adjusting with the lineup. But what's next? Play of the game?
Do play of the game. I'm going to do. I think I have a few play of the game nominee. I wish I could read my handwriting. Justice pass to Clark and 1 first quarter fast break. I can't even remember what that is.
I do the same thing. I'm like, what play was that?
I know what my play is. My play of the game is Ja's buzzer beating 3 in the third quarter. There you go. That's the it cut it Denver started to pull away. They end up cutting the lead to 4 in the end of the quarter, 81-77, and put us in position to be where we were. So that's my play of the game.
All right, I got a few that I feel like I got to mention. One was Jamal Murray's behind the back pass to Jokic for a layup, and it looked like it was going to get stolen. He threw it from the wing. It was like the most random spot to throw a behind the back pass from, but it was perfect and resulted in 2 points. Then I got the DeAnthony Melton 3 out of the timeout following the Brandon Clark lob. I just thought the execution on that play was nice. And then the Brandon Clark block on Jokic to give us a chance to win the game. So a lot of good plays in this game. Like you said, it was a fun one, but we lost. My bum of the game, Leroy Jenkins. Whatever that referee's name was. I know that's not his name, but I don't know why that just popped in my head.
His name is Randy Mott. He's my bum of the game too. It's
a ref named Leroy, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's got to be an old black man named Leroy running around in a referee shirt. But not every player was on his head the whole game. So yeah, I'm with you for him as the bum of the game. Like, although I understand why you didn't call it, I'm also like, bruh, blow your whistle. Don't be confident in the call that you're making. And then we go, whatever. If you're going to call whatever, there you go. So Randy Mott is both of our bum of the game.
Yeah, Leroy Richardson is the NBA official I was thinking of. So it wasn't that far off. But
we call him Jenkins. He could be a Jenkins.
All right, man. Did you win any money on the Grizzlies? Do we have a stats-based bet tonight?
We have a stats-based bet. And the funny thing is, one of my boys sent me a text this morning. It was like, yo, I know you mess with the Grizzlies, but you need to go ahead and bet Nuggets -3. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's probably a smart bet. Thank God I didn't do that one too, because I would have lost money then. But I also lost money on my stats-based bet, which is the usual. But we can get into what I did, because as you know, I have to explain it. And once you hear my explanation, it always makes sense. So
it never makes sense.
it makes sense, but it never happens.
All right, it makes sense, but it never makes dollars.
There you go. So I had Kyle Anderson scoring over 11.5 points. No, he did not.
Struggling, man.
We know, like,
you're gonna have to go away from that one. You're gonna have to go away from that one for a while.
It's just the second game, which, like I said, though, with the roster coming the way it is and seeing how Taylor's playing guys, he's not going to get the opportunities. He's going to get the minutes, but is he going to get the opportunities?
Well, you mentioned the body language. Like I can't see someone and think they have bad body language and then continue to bet on them.
And even tonight he only took 5 shots. Like, he played 18 minutes and took 5 shots. So if this bet were to come true and he took 5 shots, you had to go 5 for 5. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had him for over 11.5 points. He didn't get it. Had him for over 4 rebounds. He did get the rebound. So I might just strictly leave him up to rebounds. Had Jonas over 13 points. He got that. Jonas over 8.5 rebounds. He got that. Dylan over 12 points. He got that. Michael Porter Jr. over 13 points. He got that. Jamal Murray over 4 assists. He got that. John Morant over 15 points. He got that. But I had Jamal Murray scoring 20 points because he usually scores 20 points. But
he scored 30 his last 11 games.
And he comes in and scores 3, like 1 for 14. So, there you go. So yeah, that was it. And we played the Thunder on Sunday. We back at it again. We're gonna figure something out. I'll find the right combination. I'm gonna give me a combination that I know will make me some money, because I'm like doing bigger thing. I'm probably doing some smaller bets. Maybe just do like a Jonas getting this and that. Who knows? I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay. Well, excited to hear what you have. What you have in store.
College basketball made me a good amount today, so that's all that matters.
Got you some fun money. Well, speaking of college basketball, we'll be back tomorrow after the Tigers game, probably around 7:15, somewhere right around there. And then, and that's that.
Well, Mase, since we about to end it, let the people know where they can find you.
That's what I was trying to get to. Y'all can find me on Twitter at BarnburnerSlim. Y'all can find the show in podcast format wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify. Just look up All Memphis Post Game. Search for us. Give us a review. Leave us 5 stars. Subscribe. And like J.O. said, print the shirts. Go Tigers, baby. Jamal, where can they find you?
Before y'all go and buy them printed up shirts, go follow me on Twitter at Nerdy McFly. Follow the show on Facebook at the Kickback Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube at the Diamond in the Bluff Media. Like May said, we are on all streaming platforms for the audio podcast. My computer's about to die tonight, and I left my charger at work, so I don't know if I'll be able to upload this one tonight, but I'll upload it tomorrow. But yeah, man, with that being said, and good looking out to Jo. Jo always gives us great comments while he's watching at 12:35 a.m. on a Friday night. Like with that being said, I am Jamal, that is Mase, and we are out.
And happy birthday to Justin.
Big Slim.